Like, Caitlin Clark spent 20 minutes signing autographs. She made her way 2/3 of the arena. She signed literally hundreds of autographs. And if you guys didn't see that game today, there were as many Fever fans as there were Sky.
The WNBA's biggest storyline, the one that's been bubbling for over a year, just steamrolled its way into Chicago. And trust me, it came with Sharpies, selfies, and shattered attendance numbers. And get this, the headline moment didn't even happen on the hardwood. Sure, the Indiana Fever smacked the Chicago Sky 93-78, but the real story? That played out before the first whistle.
So once again, the god Caitlin Clark came and bricked Barbie's house, scraped her goofy ass even on her off day, and took over her arena, signing autographs. You see, Black Clan, this is what the face of the league looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Caitlin Clark, everybody wanting to get a signature of the most electrifying woman in women's basketball, man. Bricklayer.
Nope, this wasn't about final scores or box stats. This was something way more dramatic, something that cut straight into Angel Reese's hometown pride. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just stroll into the United Center. She sat down, injured, in sweats on the bench, and somehow still hijacked the entire spotlight.
Angel Reese, she's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, come to your trap, take over your trap. What happened to that? Because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over. She took your trap over. Caitlin Clark, it was more fans running. They was running down on Caitlin Clark like she was Michael Jordan.
Picture this, Angel Reese, sidelined with a bad back. Caitlin Clark, stuck nursing a nagging groin strain that's already kept her out 4 games. And yet, when the Fever's bus pulled up to Chicago, it was like the Pope had landed. That's how loud the hype was. The United Center, yes, the 20,000-seat arena they specifically upgraded to because of one player, instantly turned into Clark's personal fan festival before warm-ups even began.
On Barbie Night, of which Angel Reese was not in the game. She is who Barbie Night is pretty much named after, but she is out with a back injury. As a matter of fact, many of their players are out. Mariah Jefferson is out, Haley Van Lith is out, again, Angel Reese is out. So this game, in my mind, was pretty much a lock. And I gotta say, it was not the funnest game. And the fact that the Chicago Sky even brought it back, they were just killing them by the first half.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, because what I'm about to say can only be described as dominance without even touching the ball. Clark spent nearly 20 minutes circling the arena like a rock star on tour, signing autographs, shaking hands, and meeting fans. 2/3 of the arena got personal Caitlin time. And when security tried to usher her off like she was some regular athlete, she waved them off and kept going. That's what legends do. They know their power, and they lean into it. And here's the gut punch Angel Reese stands are still processing. These weren't just Fever fans traveling in. These were Chicago fans, in Chicago, on Angel's home court, literally fighting over Caitlin Clark's autograph. One even tried to hand her Chicago Sky gear to sign, and Clark gracefully declined. Injury or not, she carries herself like she's setting the standard for the entire league.
Player, you can never do this in Indiana or in any arena, because we don't come to see you, bricklaying sloth. Caitlin Clark is the official owner of Chicago, man. It's time that y'all build a Caitlin Clark statue in Chicago in front of the Chicago Sky Arena, man, because Clark just comes over and takes over the arena with all the dozens and dozens of people, boys, girls, everybody wanting to see the god Caitlin Clark, ladies and gentlemen.
Clark signed jerseys, shoes, balls, and whatever else fans shoved in her face for nearly half an hour, and she did it like she understood the magnitude of the moment. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was likely tending to her back, while her own city screamed for her biggest rival. Then came the actual game, where Kelsey Mitchell absolutely torched the sky. She dropped 35 points on their heads, 7 threes, while hitting milestones left and right, including her 100th career 20-point game. She even snagged her 200th career steal, cementing her place right behind Tamika Catchings in Fever history.
Was just on another level today, man. Oh my goodness, I'm talking about the hustle, the steal, the drive, the shot making, the making the threes. Fam, it was just really a dominant performance from her, man. Really looking like one of those superstars. All right, she looked like a pure superstar today, man. However you want to chalk it up. All right, had 35 points. 35 points.
This wasn't just a stat sheet stuffer. It was Mitchell's announcement to the league. She basically said, "Y'all can obsess over Clark, but don't sleep on me. She's been steady, she's been underrated, and she's the perfect 1-2 punch next to Clark." As for the Sky, without Angel Reese, they limped to 78 points on a horrendous 32% shooting night. Add 23 turnovers, a 20% three-point clip, and the humiliation of their own fans cheering the rival star, and suddenly you've got to wonder, was Chicago even playing with a true home court advantage?
The Chicago Sky getting their asses blown out by 40, it's just another shining example of the delusion that runs through the WNBA. Like, some players in the WNBA really truly believe that they play basketball on like skill on par level as men in the NBA. These women in the WNBA are a Bush League junior varsity high school basketball team. It would be one thing if like you're shooting and your shots just weren't falling and your percentage was just like low for the night. But this is just absolutely an embarrassing display of what is described as the best of the best level of basketball.
What went down in Chicago on July 27th wasn't just another game. It was a full-on redefinition of what it means to be the draw in pro sports. Caitlin Clark doesn't just move tickets, she moves the entire culture. Her jersey? Second best-selling in America, behind only Steph Curry. That's not WNBA only, that's all of basketball. Her presence alone has driven a 1,000% spike in women's jersey sales. And when she plays, the TV ratings nearly triple compared to other games. Road attendance? Through the roof. Atlanta jumped from 3,000 to 17,000. DC went from under 5,000 to over 20,000. But Chicago? Chicago was different. This was her rival's house, and she still flipped it into her personal fan appreciation day. In street clothes.
And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play. On the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign something. She was there, she spent like 20 minutes autographing everything. So here's Caitlin Clark signing autographs for 2 minutes 20 seconds. There are just a serious amount of fans. I don't even know, is that even just a towel? Like, it's very different. Like, they're showing up there. People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles.
And let's be real, that's the kind of psychological dominance you can't measure. Angel Reese, injured or not, had to sit back and watch thousands of her own fans cheer like Caitlin was Chicago's queen. That's not just losing a matchup, that's losing your home. The game was literally moved to the United Center just to handle Caitlin's gravitational pull. Wintrust Arena? Too small. And when one player's mere presence forces your franchise to relocate arenas, that's when you know you're dealing with a generational phenomenon.
Like MJ in the rack. Oh my God. Caitlin Clark getting treated like Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Chief Keef, Lil Durk, all of them. Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras that was paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get autographs. And then we got Ice Cube bombing on Angel Reese, talking about, man, she's not worth the money that Caitlin Clark was worth. Caitlin Clark unlocked millions for the
Now, what made this beatdown even juicier? The Fever didn't even have Clark on the court, and still looked scary good. Aaliyah Boston did her thing, 14 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. Tim Sun gave them buckets off the bench, McDonald chipped in 2, and the Fever blew the Sky away with balance and confidence. They outscored Chicago 18-2 to close the first quarter, and Mitchell was unstoppable from the jump. This wasn't just winning a game, it felt like a declaration. The Fever are here, and Chicago? Still figuring themselves out.
Squad, everybody. Kelsey Mitchell dropping a 35-piece right on y'all domes. Aaliyah Boston out there Boston marketing. Michaela Timpson, our rookie, out there giving y'all the business. A Chicago Sky Goon Squad. When Bricklayer Reese plays, y'all lose. When the Sloth doesn't play, y'all lose. When Ariel Atkins plays, y'all lose. When she doesn't play, y'all lose. When Haley Van Lith plays, y'all lose. When she doesn't play, y'all lose. But ever since the Chicago Sky Goon Squad drafted Bricklayer, I spaced too far apart Reese, y'all ain't this.
What Chicago fans saw that night went way beyond basketball. It was a cultural flex. Caitlin Clark didn't need to score a single point. She didn't need to drop logo threes. She just had to exist in that arena, and the atmosphere bent around her. Nearly 30 minutes of signing autographs in enemy territory? That's not normal, that's era-defining. Meanwhile, Mitchell proved exactly why Clark's stardom lifts the whole squad. Her explosion wasn't just her moment, it showed the Fever are now a team where the culture breeds confidence across the roster.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC. Angel, pray up, me bound Reese, I hope you listening. It looks like that line was for my precious CC. How she pulled up in your trap. Yeah, she brought the trap to your trap. What you mean? Yeah, everybody wanna, my precious CC autograph. That's what I'm talking about. Who the biggest superstar? I'm waiting. Who the face of the league? I'm waiting. I know. Caitlin Clark is the Caitlin Clark effect. The CC effect. My precious CC, we here. She there. Real time, she injured. You hear me? She rehabbing. And everybody, hey, CC, hey, oh my God, you are amazing.
Sure, the scoreboard read Fever 93, Sky 78. But the biggest story was told before the game even tipped off. It was written in every Chicago fan who left that arena talking more about Caitlin Clark's Sharpie than Angel Reese's absence. It was written in the contrast between two franchises, one building a sustainable future around stardom, the other still trying to catch up. Angel Reese will heal, she'll come back strong, and she'll carve out her legacy. But July 27th will forever be remembered as the night Clark showed the gap between being a star player and being a cultural force.
Angel Reese is not injured, everybody. She's just trying to sit out because she sees Caitlin Clark sitting out, and Clark gets the attention with people saying, oh, the Fever play this way when Clark is playing, and then they play this way when she's not playing. So Bricklayer Reese is like, let me sit out too, so they can talk about how the Sky play when I'm playing and not playing, man. Because Clark lives rent-free in her empty-ass head. She tried to do everything that Clark does. We said, we're watching women's basketball because of Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese gets up there and says, no, they're watching because of me.
Because make no mistake, Caitlin Clark rolled into Chicago, sat on the bench, signed some autographs, and still stole the entire show. That's not just stardom, that's transcendence. That's what happens when greatness is so undeniable, it speaks louder than the scoreboard. In Angel Reese's house, with Angel out of sight, Caitlin Clark reminded the world, some players don't just play basketball, they become basketball. And on that night, the Fever left with a statement win, Mitchell left with a career highlight, and Clark left with the crowd in her pocket. That's the kind of dominance you'll never see on paper, but everyone who was there will remember it forever.